Welcome back to another exciting video. I'm Nick with Reptile Habitats, and today we're going to unbox and build the brand new 4x2 V3 Deluxe Spacer Hood. Now, the Deluxe Spacer Hood for the 4x2 enclosures adds both functionality and style to your reptile habitat. The hood creates extra space above the enclosure, ideal for housing lighting, heating elements, and other accessories, while maintaining a very sleek and polished appearance. Now, first things first, let's unbox everything. We want to pull each piece out and lay it onto a clean, flat surface. This ensures that all the pieces are here and ready and that we're not scrambling for parts later. Now, you will want something to cut with. Razor blade works great. You want to start by cutting the two safety straps around the box, moving on to the safety tape in the front and the rear of the box as well. Then moving on to the 4 safety bumpers installed for safe shipping. Now, to cut in between them, you want to follow in between where the upper and lower bumper overlap all the way around all 4 corners. Just like this. Once everything's cut, you can peel the box open just like this. Great, now we have everything out on the table. Let's take a moment and familiarize ourselves with everything we'll be building with today. Starting over here, we have 4 long bars. Now 2 of them will have stickers on them indicating that they are for the front. This is because they have the dual tracks for the sliding doors in the front. Then we'll move on to the 4 vertical bars. Again, 2 of them will have stickers indicating that they're the front for the sliding doors. We'll have 4 short bars, 2 baggies of hardware, one including our bolt system along with Allen key, another one including the handles for the doors along with the 1-inch flush stacking pins. We will have our mallet for this build, the 2 top supporting bars. We'll also have 8 of the joints that will help us frame the bottom and top frame together. We will have our 2 sliding doors, our 2 side panels, and last but not least, our rear panel. Great, let's move on to the next step.
Moving right along into the next step. Now it's time to remove the protective coverings from our rear panel, our 2 side panels, and our sliding doors. Now, this doesn't seem like the most exciting step, and I understand, but it's vitally important that the protective covering does not interfere with the rest of the build. This can take a minute or 2. Let me save you some time.
Kobe. Perfect. Let's move on. Moving right along into our next step, it is now time to actually start building our Deluxe Spacer Hood. We have a few things here on the table. We will have our logo bar here that has the sticker that indicates that this is the bottom front because we will have the 2 tracks for the sliding doors. We have 2 of our shorter bars on the sides here, and then we have our rear long bar for the back. So also we have the 4 joints in their respective corners. Very easy to put together. We're gonna start in the back. This is I kind of like to build it like a frame. So I'll start in the back, adding the 2 joints, and then adding the 2 sidebars to the back, and then creating the front piece to bring on top. So that's exactly what we're gonna do here. We're gonna grab one of our joints and our bar here. I'm going to orientate them correctly. And then we are going to grab our little hammer here. Make sure that you're doing this on a solid surface. Sometimes carpet doesn't work very well. Give it some taps to start. Just like that. First joint is put in. Now we can see exactly that it's going to go into this one, creating a frame all the way around. So let's do this joint next. Make sure that's oriented correctly. I'm going to put it down on a solid surface. Baby taps to start. And then you can sink it in there. Ooh. Just like that, we can see that it's nice and flush all the way around. Awesome. So we've put in our first 2 joints. Now what we're gonna do is put in the rear here. So what I like to do is flip this upwards, and then we can align the sidebar just like that. I'm gonna try to use this table. We'll see if this table works well. I'll bring it down to the floor. Be a little bit easier. Just like that. We're now nice and flush with this corner right here in the joint. Now we'll do the same thing on this side. Rotating this upwards, aligning this correctly, using our hammer to start, Bring it down to a solid surface on the floor. One more time. All the way down, just about. Perfect. Bringing it back up onto the table, we have now created our first portion of the bottom and side of the frame. Now, what we're gonna do is the same thing that we did with the back, we're gonna do with the front. We're going to add on the 2 joints to the long logo bar here first, and then we'll bring it on top and connect to the rest of the frame. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's grab this joint and the logo bar. Make sure that it's oriented correctly. Let's go ahead and grab our mallet. A couple of baby taps. Boom, just like that. We have now got the first joint installed on the front bar. Lining up the last and final joint here. Bring it over. Nice stable position on the floor. Ta-da! Just like that, our front bar now has both joints in it. So what we're going to do, we're gonna scoot this back a little bit. We will rotate the frame upwards, and then we'll bring the lid down on top of it just like that. Finding both of the homes for the joint. What we're gonna do is baby taps going back and forth to start bringing it down evenly. 1, 2. Come back on this side. Back over here. Back and forth. You can see that's nice and flush there. And now, ta-da! The first frame of our deluxe spacer hood is put together. Let's move on to the next step. We've got our first assembly done. Now it's time to install our vertical bars here. We have 4 of them here on the table. We'll have the 2 in the rear, and then the 2 that have the indicated sticker for this is the front. We will also be pulling out our Allen key here, along with 4 bolts out of the little baggie. We can take the baggie, set this off to the side. We will start in the rear here. We're gonna make sure that we grab a bolt, our Allen key, come off to the back here, and we wanna make sure that we pull this off the edge, giving us the ability to come up the bottom with the bolt. So, set this in here just like that. It'll stay right by itself. Grab our bolt, come up from the bottom. Be patient, take your time. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Wanna make sure that that's nice and snug. We'll go ahead and move on to the next corner here. Pull this side out, grab our vertical bar, come down. Just like that. We wanna make sure that we're coming underneath of it right here. Boop. We'll start to feel it. There it is. Nice and snug. Now, while we're doing this, we want to make sure that we're using the tools included in shipping. Using a hand tool or a power tool can absolutely strip the bolts, and that is not good. Now, we have the ones here that say this is for the front. We want to make sure that lines up with the 2 tracks that we see up here for the doors. Same thing, we'll pull off the corner, set it on top just like that. Grabbing one of our bolts coming from the bottom. Ooh, there we go. Nice and snug and secure. Last one, same thing. It's gonna have the sticker. This is the front because we'll have those 2 tracks that will place the doors here. So bringing the corner off the table. There we go. Making sure the 2 tracks are lined up correctly. Then using the bolt coming up from the bottom. There we go. And just like that, all 4 vertical bars are now installed to our deluxe spacer hood. Great job. Let's move on to the next step. Outstanding, we are moving right along. Now it is time to install our side and rear panel. Very easy to do. We're just gonna grab our side panel here, find the 2 grooves in the front and the back. We're gonna then just guide it all the way down, and it's gonna sit in its home at the very, very bottom. There we go. Let's grab the next one. Grab it, find its two grooves in the front and the rear, guiding it all the way down to the very bottom, just like that. Great, let's go ahead and get in the rear panel. Same thing. There's one, there's two, all the way down till it finds its home in the bottom. Great job. Let's work on now creating the top frame, and we're just about done with the spacer hood. Moving right along into creating our final frame that will cap the top of our deluxe spacer hood. Now, very much like our very first step, we have a few things here on the table. We will have our front bar that will have the top front sticker on it, indicating that it will have the two channels for the sliding doors. We will have the two short bars on the sides and one final long bar here on the back, along with 4 of our joints orientated correctly in each corner. Now, just like before, we're gonna start with the rear bar here. I'm gonna grab the joint, line it up correctly, bring it down onto the ground using our hammer. Start with a couple of taps. Just like that, get it started. Boom, there's one. Peel off the tab. So we can see now that our first joint is installed. So let's go ahead and move on to the second joint over here on the right. Make sure it's oriented correctly. Bring it down. We're gonna give it a couple of just love taps first. Just like that. Then go ahead and drive it down to the home. Bingo. Rip the tab off of this one. Perfect. Now we have the two joints. So what we'll do is we'll tilt this backwards, grabbing our sidebars here, bringing it upwards and down onto the joint, just like that. Start with a couple of baby taps. There we go. Sometimes if your table isn't quite hard enough, we might need to go down to the floor. Just like that. There we go, nice and flush. Do it for the same side, or for the other side now, over here. Rotate this backwards. Up, just like that. Let it's home. Grab the hammer. Give it a few taps. Bring it down to the floor if you need to. Perfect. Come on up, back to the table. We have most of the frame done. Now we're going to do the same thing for the front bar here with the two channels in it. So we'll start with this side. There we go, couple of taps, start. Boom, there's one left. So you make sure it's correctly sitting the right way. Bring it over here to the floor. Couple of taps. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. Now, just like before, we're gonna use this as the lid to cap our frame here. So we will bring the frame up vertical like this, bringing the lid down. And just like before, we're gonna tap each side evenly to make sure it's coming down evenly. Tap, tap. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we can bring it down. Let's go. Just about there. Nice and flat. Nice and flat. Look at that. The top frame is assembled. Let's move right along into the next step. Great job. We're coming right along here. Now it's time to install the top frame to the rest of the unit of the spacer hood. This is very easy to do. We have 4 bolts here. We're also going to use our Allen tool for this. We're going to grab and make sure that we orientate the frame the correct way, having that the front sticker is facing the front that has the 2 tracks for the sliding doors. Now we just want to take our time here, make sure that we get each corner seated properly along with each side panel and rear panel. Just give it a minute, be patient with it, go back and forth to each corner I'll help you kind of get everything down. There's one, there's two. Let's make sure this one's flush. There we go, there's 3 and 4. So now all 4 corners are flush. We're gonna take our four bolts here. Just gonna drop them down each corner. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. Perfect. Grabbing our Allen tool, make sure that we're using the Allen tool. If we use a power tool, it can strip the bolts, and that's not good. Just gonna go along all 4 corners here. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Nice and snug, there's 1. Nice and snug, there's 2. Let's work on the front now. 3, 1 more. Outstanding. The top frame is now installed on the Deluxe Spacer Hood. Let's move right along into installing the handles to the sliding doors. Great, now it is time to install our hardware to the sliding doors. Now there's a few things here I have on the sliding door. I will have first our Allen tool, then the handle itself, a rubber gasket, 2 of the bolts, and then 2 plastic washers to help protect the bolts. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our washers, we're gonna drop these straight down through the holes, just like this. Boop, boop. Same thing with the screws, or the bolts, excuse me. Bring them down through the washers. Now, we want to line up the rubber gasket with the holes on the metal handle. We're gonna come underneath, find the first hole, just give it a couple of threads. There we go, now the second one. Take your time. Perfect. Now using the tool included in shipping, going to just tighten the bolts. Very easy. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Nice and snug. Let's do the second one. Perfect. Perfection. Great. Now do the same thing for the second door. We're moving right along. It is now time to install our doors to the Deluxe Spacer Hood. Very easy to do, just like all of the habitats. We're gonna take our first door. We're gonna start on the right side, and we wanna make sure that we find the rear track first. That gives us the ability and space to install the other door. There we go, find its home. There we go, make sure it slides all the way back and forth. Nice and easy. Great, let's do the same thing for the left side. Now we can find the front track for the door. Comes right on up, just like that. Find its home. Make sure it slides back and forth, nice and easy. Now, one last thing I want to show you regarding the door is our pin lock. This pin lock comes with all of our habitats along with the Deluxe Spacer Hood here. You can keep this nice and locked by inserting this in between the 2 doors, tipping back towards you and dropping down. That will secure and lock both doors. Great, one last thing to do. Outstanding. Now, this is our last step before installing our spacer hood on top of a 4x2 enclosure. These are our supporting bars. They're very easy to install. They just go inside the track in the front and the rear bar. Just gonna put it right here in the track. We'll slide this up front. Ta-da! There's one. Slip one in. Make sure we're lining it up correctly. And 2. Just like that, our spacer hood is now ready for installation. All righty then. It is now time to make sure that we can install our spacer hood. So inside of the baggie of hardware, you will find 4 of the 1-inch stacking pins. They're flush. They will go all the way around the corners of your habitat here. We'll install these in 1, and 2, and 3, and in the 4th corner. Now, you can do this by yourself, or if you need a hand, you can absolutely ask a friend to assist you with this. So we're going to bring, there we go, we're gonna bring this over the top of the habitat, finding the 4 corners as close as possible. We'll then come to the front, find its home. There's 1, there's 2. Now let's get the back done. Take your time, be patient. There we go. And come on, last one. There we go. Make sure it comes all the way down, all the way around, all 4 corners. And just like that, we have installed the 4x2 spacer hood on top of the Reptile Habitat's 4x2 V3. Great job. Congratulations, and just like that, we are done with the brand new 4x2 Deluxe Spacer Hood. We have it installed on the Habitat and it looks absolutely amazing. Now, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, or recommendations regarding the Spacer Hood or any of our enclosures, make sure to get in touch with our customer service team over at dubia.com. Or you can email them directly at orders@dubiaroaches.com. This is Nick. Till our next build.